I'm glad you're here today. So, something that was asked of me recently was how do I handle my marriage or my partner during withdrawal? And how do you stay together? And how are you okay through this? Is the kind of the underlying question that I sense under that. I had someone ask me about it recently, and I realized that would be a really great thing to talk about because it's such a hard thing to figure out while you're going through such suffering. So I believed all kinds of lies that I was not. It was so hard to fight and to not believe lies, to fight that I wasn't worth it, that our relationship wouldn't make it, or I wasn't worth holding on to, and all kinds of negative things that are just easy to fall prey to in withdrawal. So I'm going to share some from my experience and just some of the things that helped us come through because we're doing great. And I have an awesome relationship with my husband. And I'm like 20 plus months from my last pill. And I had a brutal withdrawal. It was such extreme suffering for me. And yeah, we came through it. So I'm here to just share that hope with you. And if you want to talk with me one-on-one, I would love to meet with you. I am going back to work and I am licensed as a counselor in the state of Maryland. And I'm just excited to be opening up my schedule to also do some withdrawal coaching for those who are in need of that support. And so my email you can find in the link in the description. That's my website, and you can sign up to be on my email list and to learn about the soonest that I open up my calendar, which is super soon, which is so exciting. So, yes. And I am just so glad to walk with you through this and to share anything that's helpful here on my videos with you. So let's talk about what this looks like for surviving this and still having a good relationship with your partner. In withdrawal, I believed all kinds of horrible things that were really hard to not believe, like that I wasn't worth being married to, that I'd never get better, and this was a mistake, or I'd ruined my husband's life, all kinds of things like that. Not true things. And we're really great. We're doing really great now. And I am coming up, well, I'm not, I guess in like 3 months, I'll be up to 2 years off psych meds. And so it was a brutal withdrawal. I looked pretty horrible, felt pretty horrible, and a lot of despair and stuff. Earlier videos share more of my story. But I'm here to offer you encouragement and hope about the different things I learned along the way. And today, just going to talk about relationships and marriage / the partner you live with during withdrawal. So I have my notes down here. So if I look down, I'm just looking at my notes to remind myself of the different things I wanted to share. But also I'll just be sharing from the heart. So, yeah, it's pretty ugly to go through withdrawal. And if you're in a place of deep despair and darkness, just know it's not going to stay that way. And I'm going to just share the things that helped me come through. And I know that each person's relationship is unique. Each marriage, each romantic relationship is unique and has its own unique dynamics. So just take whatever I share that is helpful for you. So one of the things that I think is so important is honesty. And that kind of honesty where you can share the truth of what you're going through, the truth of what withdrawal is. So like your your spouse to be able to know some of the real experience of withdrawal just through reading other resources. So that was really helpful to us to expand from just like whatever it was I was experiencing to like what is withdrawal and what have other people experienced and what have their healing journeys been like, and just those resources of information. So like from survivingantidepressants.com, from Medicating Normal, from Mark Horowitz's information, his resources. So, and then just hearing stories of people who'd come off and all of that. So all of that was like helpful to give us a reference point for like what was going on and to be honest with each other about the situation. Like, this is what's happening. So that's my first, is like being honest about what withdrawal is, what recovery is, what healing, the whole process. Being able to have that honest conversation can give you a really solid footing, because it can get really murky and confusing with your behavior changing, your likes and dislikes changing, your ability to function changing, like everything across the board suddenly being different is really hard on a relationship. And so being able to name where this is coming from and why it's happening, but also the encouragement that it doesn't stay that way. It really doesn't. And it is a temporary condition, but it's a super limiting condition, especially if you're in a having a severe reaction or withdrawal experience, if you are in acute suffering. So just being able to be honest and to talk openly about what is actually happening. The next thing is, I would say, being honest with yourself about what you actually need, which is hard because we want to be independent adults. We have been. We want to function normally. So it feels like a huge loss to have been able to function at a certain level and then to not be able to. So maybe you were holding a full-time job or providing, overseeing the childcare in your home, or maybe you were caring for some other person in your family. So like whatever it was that you were able to do, you might not be able to do it to that same level or at all for a time. And so just being able to be honest with yourself, if that's what's happening, like, I just can't function at that same level. I am not able to, and just being able to admit a time of the suffering that you're going through and the experience that you're having. So being honest with yourself is so important, because then you're able to be also honest with your partner. So then sharing with them what it is that's different for you that you can't do at the same level. So then you guys can adjust your expectations of how life works right now. So if you were the cook, let's say, and you were the one who just always made sure, the fridge was stocked and we'd have food and we'd, have these meals planned out. And let's say you're just not able to get to the grocery store. You're not able to make the lists. You can't think clearly enough to cook, or you feel sick if you're standing up over food, whatever it may be, your symptoms. Just being honest about those, and then making new arrangements. So that's just one example. It might be like, you did all the admin and all the bill organizing, or you cleaned the house, or you were able to work full time and pick up the kids, or whatever, however it is you divide up the different jobs of life. Being honest with how it's different right now and sharing that. So it's almost like you have to come up with a new strategy for doing life for right now. It's temporary. It's not a forever thing. So like I have heard of people where it's like they couldn't cook anymore, and so then their spouse ended up becoming the cook for a year. and it was okay, and just being able to accept and adjust to having a new arrangement for how you guys do life for now. And that's the thing, is it's for now. You don't have to grieve this as a forever thing, because as you get better and better, yourself will emerge, and you'll like be able to like happily do more things, and then it'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting myself back, I'm getting life back. So but that honesty is so important, because then you're able to be a team and not feel abandoned, or like you're abandoning them or they're abandoning you. And it's just really important to have that honesty. Now, it's also possible that you're honest and you're like, I can't do the things I used to do right now. And let's say they're not able to do everything either. It's important for them to be honest, and for you to ask them to be honest, like what is manageable for you. And that's where you come up with a strategy together. Like it might be like a time where you guys just eat out more, or you're just not able to save as much, or you just have a tighter budget because you're not able to work as much, or whatever it is. But being able to make that strategy of adjusting expectations for what's really happening right now, and then to be able to pull in the resources that you need. So something I really needed was I needed a lot of encouragement, because I felt so horrible, desperate, doomed, desolate. I don't even know if there are words to fully describe, but I needed a lot of encouragement, and that could be really, really draining for my husband, because he also had to work, and we have kids, and so there was a lot of responsibilities he had to already manage. And then I was just very emotionally needy during that time. So what I ended up doing was making a strategy. He wanted to be able to support and encourage me, but we also knew like I couldn't talk to him all day, he had to work, and so we made strategies for how to get through the day. And if I really, really did need that encouragement, like people I could call. And I mean, God really did take care of us and provided friends and people, resources to help get me through the day. So I would just encourage you to find the resources that help you cope, that help you get through the day. So he was still able to be an emotional support to me, but it wasn't, we were able to strategize so that it wasn't too much on him, so that we could still, he could still work, we could still get through the day and function, and things could get done. So that's just like one example. And let's see, what else? Oh, also, I think it's really important to actually rely on others that you trust during this time, because I think we can so easily think we need to be independent and just muscle our way through life in our own strength. But really, like, humans are meant for community, and depending on others isn't a weakness, and it is a source of resilience. If you look through history, people have lived in villages and towns and communities. It's just part of being human. And I think as Americans, we can resist and want to be so self-reliant and independent. And I would just encourage you to rely on those that are right for you to rely on, because that's going to help you heal. So whether that's like a support group call, maybe it's a family member who's like, hey, I'll come clean your house once a week, someone who's just loves you as you are and is willing to pitch in here and there to help you. Just receive it, and don't be ashamed for receiving it, because you're going to be in a place someday where you're helping someone else, and that's going to make a huge difference in their life. And it's just part of being human. It's like a good part of being human is to be able to receive and give help and love other people and receive love from other people. So you might feel extra weak right now and like you're depending on a lot of people. That is part of healing through this process. But healing does come. So just let yourself receive the right kind of help and support through this, and that's going to help you heal. Because then you won't be overwhelmed and your body will be able to put its energies into the healing process. What else is helpful? I'm just looking at my notes. Oh, yeah. Another thing that was helpful was I was in such a dark place. It was hard for me to enjoy life or do enjoyable things. Like maybe I would try, but my mindset would be really miserable. And I think that can be really hard for someone else, for like your spouse, to keep their optimism or their hopefulness up if, their loved one is down all the time. So it's a hard thing to come through. So something that helped us was I would try to give him opportunities to do enjoyable things on his own or with other guys or with friends or with family that would help him just feel good about life and do fun things and lighten up. So, and now, of course, I'm able to enjoy so many things. Like this last week, we went camping on the Appalachian Trail as a family. We did a 3-day hike and 2 nights camping out. And it was amazing. We had such a good time. And I'm able to like laugh and do all these adventures and feel good in my body and have a fun time with everyone. So like your ability to just jump into life and have fun and do those things will come back. I didn't have that for a while. It was like I just misery. Like the misery was just with me all the time. And so, but I knew he needed those times to lighten up. And so we would strategize for him to be able to just have those outings and do those fun things. And I would make some kind of a plan for what I would do during that time. Maybe, like for instance, he got to go to a trip to Alaska with his dad and brothers, which is really cool. But it meant for me that I wouldn't have his support during that time. And it was like a total of 10 days, which is a really long time when you're in acute. But what we were able to do was I had some really loving friends who were willing to help me out. So I had somebody each day who I could call and talk to and check in with. And they were willing to like just be on deck and support me through that while he was on that trip. And so then that ended up being great for him because he came back so rejuvenated and happy and hopeful, and his perspective was so good. And then that helped us get through more of the healing. And so that's just like one example of something that really helped our relationship during that time and helped, I think overall helped my healing, as well as like him being able to support me and us still having a strong and good relationship through this. So let's see if I had any other ideas. Oh yeah, my last thing is to nurture the good you do have. So whatever good you have in your relationship that you can still participate or enjoy, just lean into that. Whether it's like one show or like maybe you like to have tea together or maybe there's a walk. If there is something you can do, even in your state of suffering, that brings some relief and connection. Sorry, I just like got some bug bites and I'm itching. But if there is something that is doable for you and is enjoyable for you, maybe even helps you in your healing process and is something you can do together, like just lean into that and try to be consistent with that, because that's going to help you as a couple stay together, remember the good times, and to have more connection and like hope through this, that more good times are coming. So that's something we would say a lot, is like more good times are coming, like it's gonna get better from here. Like we've had a lot of good times, and this is hard, but more good times are coming. So we would have some mantras that we would also like repeat to each other, and that really helped. And so those things really did make a difference for helping us have resilience through a really, really hard time. And if you can find ways to help each other through this, be honest and try to stay connected. That's going to build even more richness into your relationship that you can reap later and benefit from later as a couple, that you've come through something really hard together and you still love each other and have a great future and so much more joy, because you're going to have so much that you lost come back, and that's going to be such a sweet gift. So those are my encouragements, and I don't believe, the lies that the relationship, any of the worst interpretations that you might have about your relationship or yourself. We're so prone to believe negative things in withdrawal, so just keep fighting those lies and leaning into the good, and it's gonna get better. So just hang in there, friends, and reach out to me for any time to talk and connect. I'm seeing clients actually soon, and it's really exciting. I'm getting back to work, and so you can find my email sign up in the description. It'll lead to my website, and that's where you can sign up for my email list and learn about when I have an open calendar, which is very, very soon. So if you're someone who would like to connect with me to talk and to get support through withdrawal, I would love to help you and to be a friend through the process. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye.